Good morning, everyone. Brothers, sisters, psychonauts, and seekers of truth. It is Ananka, and welcome to my bazaar. Today, I have a 2C-B chirp report for you. The title of this chirp report is Exploring the Erotic Potential, and was submitted to Erotic in 2010 by the user Hypersphere. With all that being said, let our story begin. Background. I am male, at the time of this experience 24 years old and weighing 128 pounds. My partner is female, at the time of this experience 19 years old and weighing around 125 to 130 pounds. We are both in good mental and physical health. Neither of us are taking any prescription or over-the-counter medications. We both tend to use yerba mate on a daily basis, and I also tend to smoke marijuana on a daily basis, although not constantly ripping bong loads all day like I used to. My partner used to smoke a lot of weed, but nowadays she finds that it makes her feel too inward, anxious, and socially awkward, so she only smokes once in a blue moon. We have been exploring various psychedelics together for more than a year now, having shared experiences with LSD and mushrooms, sometimes in combination with Harmala alkaloids from Syrian rue and or Cappy, Hawaiian baby woodrose seeds, DMT and 5-MeO-DMT, Trichocereus cacti, 2CI, 2CE, and MDMA. Suffice to say, both of us are well experienced with psychedelics. This was my second experience with 2C-B, and my partner's first experience. Substance: 2,5-dimethoxy-4-bromo-phenethylamine, otherwise known as 2C-B. Dosage: 20 milligrams. Mindset: taking the substance with my partner with the intention to connect with each other. Given the reputation 2C-B has as a sensual and erotic enhancer, I was excited to be taking it with my partner. How did Shulgin put it? If there is ever an effective aphrodisiac, it will probably be modeled after 2C-B. Damn. One of my roommates also glowingly reported having the best sex ever, so I was stoked. Setting: went to a walk in the park while coming up, then returned home to a comfortable bedroom environment. Dim lighting, down-tempo music, and fuzzy blankets. The experience: I had been gifted 2 20-milligram doses of 2C-B. Unlike the last time I tried 2C-B, these doses were simply the white powder in the bottom of a gel cap. This is the way I like it, knowing the dose and having nothing but the substance in the gel cap. Last time, I took an unknown but stupidly large dose, which was in a full gel cap, the rest being some kind of inert filler substance. I don't know how much I took last time, but based on my recent 20-milligram experience, I would estimate at least 30 milligrams, and possibly as high as 40 or 50. Too much. It would have been more comfortable to split that dose than take the whole thing myself. Who loads their capsules so high? The high dose was pretty comparable to 40 milligrams of 2CI in terms of body load. Yesterday's dose of 20 milligrams was much more comfortable, in body and mind. So we stated our intention to connect with each other. I blessed her capsule and she blessed mine. Then we swallowed them with a sip of water. It was getting dusky in these lazy, hazy days of early summer. It seemed a nice time to go for a walk, enjoying the sunset colors and allowing for a smooth entry. I find physical activity serves to channel the energization coming up on psychedelics can bring. I had brought a little doobie and was smoking that when I first felt alerts. My partner mentioned her own alert sensations. a change in her perception of sound. For me, I found a slight rising feeling, as well as a brightening of sensations. Visually vivid, saturated colors, and I noticed patterns and textures a lot more. The clouds catching the last of the light were delicate oranges, pinks, and other pastel shades. The ripples in the clouds captivated my gaze, as did the leafy green trees silhouetted against the sky. This stuff kicks in fast. It was within the first 20 minutes that we were alerting. Our conversation was stimulated and enthusiastic. I could already feel the empathogenic side to this compound. Not speedy or pushy like MDMA, just conversation flowed smoothly and easily. There was some stimulation. We walked farther than normal, being in the groove, and having lots of energy for physical activity. It was really beautiful outside. However, after recent rainfalls, the mosquitoes were out in force. Huge breeding clouds began to swarm us. Retreat, time to go home. The nice thing about summer, it was dusk when we left, and it was still dusk when we got back. Long daylight hours. When we got home, we got comfy, using a salt lamp as our only light source. It cast a warm, welcoming glow. We got naked and cuddled up together. I felt very relaxed. It was nice to just lie comfortably with each other. How really clean MDMA can make me feel. Relaxed and mellow, rather than stimulated. Clean feeling, no body load. I found 2C-B to be very dreamlike, especially as the trip continued to deepen. This aspect reminded me a lot of 2CE, the way I could fall into a sort of waking dream state, completely calm, relaxed, and chilled out, lost in sensations, floating awareness, and yet not actually being asleep. Lovely feeling, and as I said, without the body load of 2CE. For a while, we sat cross-legged facing each other, meditating and tapping into each other's energy. In the past, we have found spending some time meditating with each other really helps us get synced up and really makes later sexual activity much more involving and tantric. We were definitely still coming up. I would say that I felt the 2CB quickly, but it still takes around 2.5 hours to build up to full steam. Pretty similar to 2CI in terms of length and onset, the main difference being a faster come up and a faster drop off too. The 2CB is metabolized quickly. I knew from my last experience, as well as other people's descriptions, that the effects would last pretty solid until the 5th or 6th hour, followed by a sharp drop-off. We were only at the 1-hour mark by now, so we still had a ways to go. During this meditation, I felt a lot of energy come into my body. Similar to meditations while coming up on acid or mushrooms, I could feel the sensation of energy inside building and building. Being nicely synced up with ourselves and each other, it was now time to explore the erotic potential of this compound. 2CB definitely has amazing sensory enhancement. Touches and kisses felt really nice. I found it a very sensual drug, very touchy-feely oriented. It was very easy to become aroused. Honestly, though, it wasn't my favorite substance for lovemaking. We made love for a long time, but I found it very difficult to reach orgasm. For me, all phenethylamines increase sensation, but inhibit orgasm. I can go for a long time without getting off. LSD is definitely my favorite substance for making love, because I find it keeps me at a constant level of arousal and sexual excitement. On LSD, I can make love for hours, and orgasm is never inhibited. Mushrooms are really nice to make love on as well. toward the latter stages of the trip, so body load isn't a concern. Mushrooms, to me, feel the most natural, just an enhancement of what I feel normally. And again, mushrooms do not inhibit orgasm. Cactus is a really nice substance for making love, after the first few hours have passed. It is a very in my body feeling, aware of every little movement. Cactus can sometimes inhibit orgasm, since it is a phenethylamine. Once we had tired ourselves out, I really enjoyed the sensuality of the 2C-B. When lying together, it felt very melty, flowing, and merging with my partner. Our energies seemed to expand out from our bodies, gently touching and cuddling each other. We exchanged massages. I had lots of energy to put into the massage, as well as seeing lots of nice visual patternings when getting my own. We were warm and comfy, and I found it easy to relax all my muscles. Deep, deep relaxation. I think being warm on 2C substances is critical to feel relaxed. Getting cold, I feel, would make me tense and shivery. The first time I had taken 2C-B, I had been outside on a windy day. The cold made all my muscles tense up uncomfortably, and muscle tension was a major downfall of that trip. Today, being inside and comfortably warm was a much more relaxing and enjoyable experience. The visual patternings I was seeing with my eyes shut reminded me a lot of LSD visuals. I kept seeing this warm, glowing ball of sunny energy in the center of my vision. The glowing ball would fractalize and spread patterns out from around its edges. It was like taking a little piece of the sun and holding it within my heart center. There is a difference between 2C-B and 2C-I. The visuals I get from 2C-I are much more geometric and perceptual, akin to cactus. There was definitely an aphrodisiac push to the 2C-B. Despite having tired ourselves out and rubbed penis and vagina a little raw, we still both wanted to do each other. It was just really easy to get turned on, due to the enhancement of touch and other sensations, and a really wonderful feeling to hold each other close. That dreamlike quality was getting really prominent. We could just lay together and drift into psychedelic mindscapes. It was like the feeling when your mind has let go and you are drifting right on the edge of sleep. Thought patterns change in curious ways. Overall, I found 20 milligrams of 2C-B to be very similar to hitting the sweet spot on a candy flip. Not enough acid to make you socially awkward. Not so much MDMA that your eyes wiggle. That sweet spot where each substance fuels the other. Having the warm, serene, and empathogenic qualities of the MDMA, along with the visuals and meditative quality of the LSD. For me, candy flipping is pretty variable. I've had good experiences as well as brutal ones, and others which are just surface level, not too deep. The 2C-B was like the 1 in 5 times candy flipping would turn out beautifully. Online, it describes 2C-B as like a cross between LSD and MDMA, but not really like either. Now this makes sense to me. The effects were pleasantly involving and rich for the first 3 hours. Around the 3rd hour, we began to come off the peak a little. Reintegration was pretty easy. Our conversation became more lucid again. During the peak times, we had not spoken a whole lot, being more involved in sensation, but now conversation flowed easily again. We chatted about what we had experienced so far. The 2C-B was pretty clear-headed throughout, but now we were totally functional. At this time, had it been necessary, we could have interacted with other people normally and not have them catch on that we were tripping. The warm, empathogenic effects continued, as well as rainbow sparkles seen everywhere. The only negative effect noticed by both of us was some dehydration. My partner said her throat and nose felt dry. Around 4 hours in, we went down to the kitchen to have a snack and make some tea. The tea was a mix of Blue Lotus, Labrador tea, and coca, simultaneously stimulating and relaxing, as with most good things in life. We hoped the cocoa would clear out a little phlegmy feeling we had in the back of our throats. As with other 2C compounds in cactus, I found that 2CB was easy to eat on, taste was enhanced, and appetite not really suppressed. By 5 hours, we were tired and lay down just to cuddle. By 6 hours, we were asleep. The transition was very smooth and easy to make. Again, the dreamlike quality seemed to allow that smooth transition. Not like mushrooms, where I can't sleep until 8 or 9 hours after taking them. The next day I felt pretty refreshed after 7 hours of sleep, and was in a really cheerful and talkative mood all day. I noticed no emotional or physical drain. All in all, this was a great trip. A very clean and enjoyable substance at this dose level. I feel I could comfortably explore deeper with this substance. 20 milligrams was a really nice dose, but if I tried it again, I would probably go for 25 to 30 milligrams to reach a higher level. Although my partner also enjoyed the experience, she was not quite so glowing about it as I was. She said that she preferred 2CI over 2CB because of the longer duration of 2CI, but more importantly, she felt that 2CI took her mind much farther out perceptually than 2CB. Both of us find 2CI to have amazing effects on music and sound, and also it seems to take whatever is in our minds and project it out into the world around us. The effects of 2CI, though somewhat subtle, are also very playful and intricate. The effects of 2CI are also steadier for us than 2CB, which tends more towards having waves of effect, sometimes feeling it strongly, and sometimes feeling almost clear of effect. With 2CB, my partner felt, and I agree to some extent, that the experience was a very surface-level trip, very clear-headed and nothing too deep or meaningful. It was enjoyable, but not particularly profound. She did not find this experience with 2CB compelling enough to warrant further exploration of this compound. We have found in the past that with LSD, that the experience can often be a surface-level trip, unless we make some effort to fully engage and dive into the effects. Perhaps 2CB is similar in this way. It doesn't become profound unless more effort is made to fully engage. The main things I enjoyed about this trip was the sensual nature, with all-round enhancement of the senses, particularly touch and taste. The visuals from this compound were rich and colorful, in a manner similar to LSD. Compared to tryptamines like mushrooms or LSD, the effect of 2CB was much more clear-headed, and also there was a warm, fuzzy feeling that accompanies most phenethylamines. As for the aphrodisiac and erotic potential of 2CB, I found it to be more sensual than sexual for me. It was very touchy-feely, but the inhibition of orgasm that I experienced was a bit of a downer. We both agree that LSD is still our favorite substance for lovemaking. Thanks for reading. Alright, everyone. That is the end of our story. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Share with us your experiences down in the comment below. Don't forget to listen to the other videos and playlists on my channel. And I will see you in the next one, fam. Deuces.